Enchanté.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Two Tight Ends podcast. And unlike Antonio Brown, we are back, baby. We are back in our regular schedule. We'll probably be coming out with episodes every week like we usually do. Sorry for the hiatus. We did do one live show on the Halftime Sports app, so be sure to check that out. We're going to try to do some more shows on that. I had a good time. We'll get some thoughts from Neal here in a second on that. And then we had holidays and all that scheduling stuff. So, yeah. But with that being said, Neal, what's up, man?
What's up, everybody? Yes, holidays was crazy. I got COVID. It was a whole thing. But we're back. Like he said, we're going to be better about the schedule thing. And yes, halftime was fun. It was interesting. And we're definitely going to be trying to do that more.
So, yeah. Well, good to be back. Yeah, we also, Neal and I realized we hadn't talked to each other in like 3 weeks, which is weird for us. Yeah. Usually we are trying to get rid of each other, but yeah, now we're finally back at the saddle, and let's just get right into it. I mean, I mentioned it.
Not a week too late, right?
What's that?
I said not a week too late that we're back.
Yeah, not a week too late, exactly. And I mentioned it a little bit, but the Antonio Brown situation is a dumpster fire. Who knows who's right? Who knows who's telling the truth? The issue here is, and Neal, I'd love to get your thoughts on it, is Antonio Brown's track record. Now, for those of you who are maybe first time, long times, Antonio Brown is one of my favorite stories ever pre-leaving the Steelers, because he was a walk-on, I believe, at Central Michigan. He may have even played a little JUCO ball, but I think he was a walk-on at Central Michigan. Went undrafted to then go on to become one of the best wide receivers in the league. He was
drafted in the 6th round, actually.
Oh, was he drafted? Okay, I thought he was undrafted for some reason. But either way, drafted in the 6th round, and then goes on to become one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. And could have been probably one of the greatest ever if he had just kept going and keep the status quo for how he was playing for a long time. But that wasn't the case. And then all the drama happened with him leaving the Steelers and going to the Raiders, and then the apparently very calculated viral video happened with him getting into an argument with John Gruden, and gets released, and then the Patriots pick him up, because I guess that was the plan the whole time, was he was trying to get cut so that the Patriots could pick him up and he could go play with Brady. Then we saw how that worked out, and then he followed Brady to Tampa Bay, and it was A-okay until the final game of the season, or sorry, second to last final game of the season.
Well, really, it kind of started a few weeks ago with the whole fake COVID thing.
Oh, true. We didn't even talk about that. My bad. Please go into that.
Well, that was it. Like, apparently he got suspended for a few games because he had a fake vaccination card, I believe. And so some people were saying, bringing up what Bruce Arians said right when he brought in Antonio Brown, is, you know, there was only like one chance and then he's out. And so people thought he would get kicked off the team because of that. But they brought him back for that one final Jets game. And I'll toss it back to Connor to explain that.
Oh, we all saw what happened. So I'm sure everyone saw what happened. So yeah, he stripped down to his compression shorts, or I guess, or does he still have his football pants on? I don't even know. I guess he still had his pants on. Whatever. Anyway, he stripped down, threw stuff into the crowd, and stormed off the field. Apparently, security thought he was a streaker at first, which I thought was hilarious. Because tell me a streaker that's been in that good a shape in the last ever, and you thought he was a streaker.
That's fair.
And then there was all these. The problem was everything came out bit by bit of like what actually happened. So at first it was Bruce asked him to go in the game twice. He refused, so he said, "Okay, you're done. Get out." Then it became that Antonio said that his ankle was hurting him, and so or what was it? Or it was that he was unhappy with his. No, hold on, sorry, I'm mixing up like because the reports came out in such different sequences. No,
Mm-hmm.
what it was before the ankle thing was that people were accusing the Bucks of doing what a lot of teams do, which is really sad and really dumb and just awful, which is they hold players back from their incentive bonuses by restricting their minutes like the final like game or two of the season, so they can't hit those milestones that would give them an extra like 500K or whatever it may be, which is ridiculous.
Really scummy thing to do, and Antonio Brown's whole contract is based on performance. If that's what they were doing, that's very scummy. And apparently, what a lot of people are saying that's what the scummy, the very scummy franchises do. If you're a good franchise, they'll actually, if you're close and you don't make it, they'll just give you the bonus anyways, or some of the bonus. And so, anyways,
yeah. So there was accusations of that because he was only like 6 catches away from hitting one of them and like a touchdown away from hitting another and like so many yards shy of another. Like he was very close to hitting all of them. Now also keep in mind what Neal mentioned, which is that he got suspended for 3 games because he faked a vax card. So I mean that was obviously on him for, I mean he would have already hit those probably.
Yeah.
And so it was, that kind of got dismissed somewhat because of all of that, but then it came out, but he was coming back from an ankle injury, and now what it was looking like was Bruce told him to go into the game twice, knowing about the ankle injury beforehand. And when he refused because he said his ankle, then he was like, get out. Mm-hmm. So that makes Bruce not look great.
Kind of looking for a reason to make him get out is allegedly.
Yeah, but again, with Antonio's track record, it just doesn't look great on his part. Now, I understand the whole ankle injury thing, but I also have to wonder how real any of that was. Because then Antonio was the first to break the silence, putting out some huge, long Instagram, was it Instagram? I think so. It was somewhere on social media. He put out some big, long message about, like, I told coach that I had an ankle injury, and he knew that, and he still tried to make me play on it, and I refused because I was looking out for my best interest. Sure you were. And so I didn't want to go in the game or whatever. And then he apparently shared like screenshots of him texting coach saying like, I'm trying, I'm getting, he's like sending him pictures of himself in physical therapy. And anyway, just all of that was insane.
AB has reverted back to his old self where he's just on social media. He's bringing up stuff, not even with his team. Now he's bringing up stuff with Tom Brady's trainer who helped him, I guess, a little bit, and he's bringing up text with him, and somebody owes somebody else $100K or something like that, and I don't know, man. He's just kind of a dumpster fire right now for AB.
He is definitely, like you put it best. He's reverting to his old ways, 100%.
Yeah. After he was rehabbing his image pretty well, I would say. This last
with all the help. I think not all the credit, but a lot of the credit should go to Brady on that.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was like, look, you're an incredible player, but you're crazy town. So let's come to Tampa Bay with me, live in my house with me, so that I could keep an eye on you, and let's get this thing going. And they did, and then this happened.
Yeah, pretty interesting. So apparently, I guess he like released that he scheduled the surgery for his ankle. I think that was today or tomorrow. So maybe that's not a total lie, or maybe that is the truth. Again, like you said, with his history, take everything with a grain of salt. I don't know who to trust. I don't know whose side to be on for this one. It is a weird.
I believe that he was still rehabbing the ankle. Obviously, like I don't think he was lying about that, but I think the way the actual interactions with him and Bruce Arians went, I don't think that is true. I think he is fabricating what happened, and not even fabricating. I think he truly believes that what he's telling is the truth about what happened, but it's not actually what happened.
Very hyperbolic or even fabricated, like you said.
Yeah.
Interesting. Weird situation. Very weird. The question is, do you think he gets another chance?
I don't know. I mean, I doubt it now because I don't think there's a team that's going to touch him in terms of like going, or do you mean this season or do you mean next season?
No, I mean going forward, just at all.
Just at all.
Yeah.
Potentially next season for a team that may be really hurting for a wide receiver, but it doesn't really look like he's looking to play football anymore. Like, he went to a basketball game immediately the next night, which was kind of weird.
He snuck in an Instagram model to his hotel room.
Yeah, apparently snuck in an Instagram model into his hotel room the night before the Jets game. Yeah. And then she got COVID apparently after that. Yeah. And but yeah, then all of a sudden he's like making music like again, and supposedly Kanye wants him on a track, and I think I saw another picture of him in the studio with another artist or whatever, and I was just so confused. It's all so confusing,
maybe
especially because
football,
I don't know, but it's all really confusing too because I think it was NFL memes on Instagram shared a link to like his newest release, so I just decided to go check it out. It was on, I think it was on YouTube Music or something like that, and it's bad. It's real bad.
It's just bad.
It's all a dumpster fire. The music's a dumpster fire. His whole situation is a dumpster fire. Mm-hmm. Just Antonio, we love you, but just be better.
Just be better
at everything. Be better at music, for one thing. If you're better at music, like, then I kind of understand, but you're not.
Well, yeah. Well, let's go from one dumpster fire to another in the NFL.
Oh, please.
The Washington football team's organization, just as a whole, seems pretty dumpster fiery.
That's weird.
And at the top of the list is probably their stadium, I would say.
Oh, do you mean the waterfall of people that happened onto Jalen Hurts?
Yeah. So after the Eagles game, I mean, this is kind of old news, so forgive us, but again, we've been out for a while. After the Eagles game, Jalen Hurts was just walking back, high-fiving some fans, and then the railing broke with right there, and a bunch of fans like fell over it and stuff, and Jalen Hurts was like helping them up, and it's not a good look. Apparently, they repaired it with zip ties, which awesome, guys, awesome. Which this
I mean, it was. To be fair, I can understand temporary fix. You just need to fix it real quick. Yeah, put some zip ties up there so it's not like in the way, but also not a good look.
No, this whole season has been showing this whole. I mean, anybody who's been to FedEx Field, I think the last time I was at FedEx Field, oh man, what was it, like 2008, and it was not great, and that was
and this is also the same year that the plumbing broke.
Yeah, exactly. That's
it started raining on fans.
Yeah, things were the sewer like broke and was raining poop on fans on multiple games. And these last couple weeks were pretty bad for the Washington football team on the field, and so the stadium and everything, and it's not looking good. And so Jalen Hurts like wrote a letter to Dan Snyder and the NFL, like asking for like what's going to be done about this. And it's just so crazy that this is the most accountability that Dan Snyder has had almost ever, I think, and it's from the opposing team's quarterback almost getting crushed by fans. That's what had to happen.
Pretty wild that that's the case out of all the allegations that are out there right now as well.
I know this is what he'll actually probably fix.
Yeah, but hey, on the bright side, supposedly you're close to an official name instead of just the Washington football team.
Well, they say they have it chosen, and the official announcement date is February 2nd, 2022.
I love that. Whoever was putting this together was like, oh man, it would be so cool. What if we announced it on 2/2/22 just because it's a cool date? It's like, yeah, I bet you also make a wish at 11/11, you weirdo. Like, let's just announce it.
Are you not big into numerology?
I'm really not. Numerology, astrology, none of that shit.
Astrology. I'm big into that.
Yeah, I bet you are. Sick fuck. Sorry, that was harsh. That was aggressive. I'm really tired. No, I apologize. I get aggressive when I'm tired.
Yeah.
Gosh dang it, I hate you.
Yeah, no, apparently they have the name set, and it's going to be coming out February 2nd. And when they announced this, they also announced that it's officially not going to be the Red Wolves at all. Apparently, due to copyright issues. With I think they were talking about like Arkansas State is the Red Wolves, and there's some minor league teams too that are the Red Wolves, and the Timberwolves. Like the logos would be too close or something like that, and so they were getting my my issue here, and I've seen this a lot on social media, is this franchise, which somehow, some way, is actually not even like it's actually pretty valuable as far as NFL teams go. It's not in the bottom half. Let's put it that way. And so it's worth a couple $1 billion, and they're worried about an infringement, a copyright infringement, or whatever this is that they're worried about. It's like it was obviously the fan favorite. I just don't get why it feels like it wasn't a big. They like, oh, maybe we'll be the Red Wolves. Timberwolves are like, no, that's too close to us. They're like, okay, sorry, okay.
So sorry, sir, sorry.
It's like teams have the same similar logos and stuff across college and from college and the NFL. That it happens a lot. I really don't think that was the biggest issue, but
I doubt it either, because I was just about to say, as someone who is a Cardinals fan, I am currently going to the University of Louisville, who is also the Cardinals, and then we're about to talk about the Arizona Card. How many freaking Cardinals are there as a mascot out there? Like, it's insane. Like, what's the problem with having two Red Wolves? Like, oh, Arkansas State. Tell me who knows about Arkansas State that they were the Red Wolves. Not me. This is the first time I'm learning about it, and I lived in Arkansas for 4 years.
Yep. There you go.
Because guess what? Guess how many Red Wolves things I saw there? 0. It's all about the Razorbacks, and you won't hear anything else. So don't worry about it.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I don't think it's good reason. Honestly, I go straight to blaming Dan Snyder, because that's a good one, because I feel like he didn't like the Red Wolves, and so they had to give a reason. And so they actually released a teaser of the New Jerseys, which I'm actually a little excited for. I hate to admit. But in that little teasers, there's a few stars on the neck, which a lot of people are essentially saying that because of that, it's probably going to be something military themed. Which, if we go back to when they were announcing like the 8 team names that they liked or whatever, they had the admirals, they had the commanders, they had what else did they have? The brigade.
Or the Brigadiers or something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Which is terrible. So a lot of people think
awful.
It's going to be the Commanders. I think out of those, that might be the best one, probably. Out of like the military ones that they had, but
I'll be honest, I'm actually more of a fan of the Admirals.
I don't know, man. This is what have I been saying since the beginning, Connor? Just rip the Band-Aid off already, okay? I want to feel
something. I want to feel some kind of pain. Just rip it off.
We're gonna be disappointed. I'm gonna say at least 70% of the fans are gonna be disappointed, and then most of the fans are gonna get over it, and then they're gonna buy the new merch, and they're gonna call the team. They're gonna embrace it, whether they like it or not, eventually. So just rip the Band-Aid off and let's get started on that, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just over it.
I feel like being a Washington fan really is like Stockholm syndrome. Like you just you hate them so much, but then you just like you said, people are eventually just gonna buy the merch, and like you're saying, you're kind of talking yourself into liking the military.
I am. I really am. I'm talking myself into liking whatever happens.
You're like, I think I like. You're like, actually, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, the Presidents. No, that's a good team name. Yeah,
the Presidents. Gosh, I forgot that was an option. Yeah, well, and there's also been a lot of detective work. Thanks
so much. It's crazy.
All the internets out there. Yeah, everyone is doing some kind of detective work where supposedly there was like some URL that went to the Commanders or something like that, and there was also like, they couldn't do Admirals because of a similar situation to the Cleveland Guardians situation, where apparently it was like a local professional, I don't know how this is possible, but like a local professional Quidditch team or whatever.
It was the Washington Admirals.
Yeah, or the Washington Admirals, and so they were like, it's probably not them because the Quidditch team already has that locked down. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much on track with roller derby, so I think they'll be okay. The multi-billion-dollar football team, I think they'll be okay. Can you not
just pay them off? Like,
yeah, exactly. So people were saying like Commanders is looking most likely because of that. Well, then a little bit after that, there was another URL that was like, it was something like WashingtonAdmirals.com. Oh, I have it right here. Yeah, WashingtonAdmirals.com goes right to, so it's an instant redirect to WashingtonFootball.com. So,
but to be fair,
now it's looking like Admirals could be the top right. Who knows?
But yeah, I mean, whoever owns that could redirect it themselves. Like, that's not
that is also true, but yeah, it's just a lot of conspiracy.
A lot of people are saying that. I mean, this ties into the military ties that a lot of people are saying. A lot of people are saying that it's a misdirect, and it's going to be the Red Tails still.
Oh, that would actually be kind of cool. Because here's my thing, too, is, like, if you're the Admirals, because Commanders, like, yeah, you could still get away with the red and, or, like, the maroonish and gold colors. Because I know, for whatever reason, Dan Snyder has such a hard-on for that color palette, even though it is awful, but
I think it's a good thing as far as keeping with the history, the tradition. If you're trying to keep that, especially those types of fans that are going to be there, it's good to keep the colorway.
I guess that's true, but if you're going to be the Admirals, you have to go more of like a nautical kind of look with like some blues and some whites and some, whatever, kind of like that. So that's where I hope it's not the Admirals, because if it's Admirals in that awful maroon and gold, like that's just terrible.
Yeah. No, but yeah, the Red Tails were rumored. And now I do actually think this is a misdirect.
I would love if it is, because Admirals and Commanders both still suck.
I think this is going to be a misdirect. I don't know what it's going to be misdirected to. I don't know if it's going to be completely out of left field where they haven't even mentioned the name yet. I don't know if it is going to be Red Tails, but I think this is going to be slightly of a misdirect, because the video that they put out, they were showing like Ron Rivera helmets and stuff, and so a lot of people were like trying to look at the reflection of the window behind him, but the problem with that is that those were probably done in the off season, or at least in the early season. Because of the weather outside and all this stuff. And so,
gosh.
Yeah, no, it's been a deep dive. And so a lot of people, because what you saw in the reflection there was just a big W logo kind of thing on the helmet. And like a lot of people were like hating that, but it's like, I don't think that's the real helmet. Like, I hope not. Because that was so long ago. But yeah, like I said, let's just rip the Band-Aid off, man. I'm tired of it. I just want to know what it is, and I'm hopeful it's going to be a misdirect and they'll somehow make it an okay team name, but I'm probably going to be disappointed, but then buy the merch, next season. So
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So just really embrace that Stockholm. Not the city in Sweden, but the awful syndrome that you are a part of.
Yeah. I also saw on a lot of social media, like, oh, if they pick this name, that would be the worst in the league. If they pick this name, listen, they're going to have a tough job to pick the worst name in the league, because there's a team called the Browns or the Jets. I mean, is the Jets really a good team name? Or like, I don't know. I feel like there aren't great team. There are a few team names out there that aren't fantastic.
You know what? That's a really good point.
So is it really going to be the worst in the league?
Everyone said the same thing about when they changed like the Rams logo or whatever. That was like, oh, this is the worst now. It's like, It's really not, and everyone's used to it now. So
yeah. So let's just get used to the new team name. But let's talk some actual football, like on the field football. Can we do that? All right. Connor?
I guess we can be done talking about jersey colors.
We could do a whole episode about that, but
we could.
But we're not going to.
I do love a good jersey.
Let's talk NFL playoffs, baby. We are recording this on Sunday the 9th. All the games are over except the last one, which is the Raiders and the Chargers. That is happening as we speak. It's almost halftime there. And that is some big implications there, because whoever wins are in, right? And then if they tie, they're both in.
Yep.
So a lot of people are calling that they should tie. They should just both take it and just tie, and then they'll both be in. Because the NFC is set. But the AFC is still waiting on this game to be
Yep.
set, and we're waiting because the Steelers are in as long as they don't tie, and so that's what the Steelers are waiting for. But the top of the AFC is already set. I mean, we have the Titans at number one, which we were talking about this earlier. I didn't think the Titans would be number one in the AFC this year, even with Derrick Henry. I thought that was. I mean, that wasn't too crazy with Derrick Henry, but
Yeah, not too crazy with Derrick Henry. Without, though, definitely a long shot.
And we got to talk about it. He's rumored to be practicing. I believe he was practiced this week, so he could be. And they have the one first week bye. Like that just gives him more time. Man, if Derrick Henry comes back for playoffs, watch out. I think the Titans might be a real contender there.
Watch out.
Watch out.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, to be fair, they do have the same exact record as the Chiefs. It's just that they, I guess, own the tiebreaker there. But
Right.
But yeah, I mean, the Chiefs. We were talking about it before we started recording, but the Chiefs just didn't look like themselves, especially at the beginning of the season, and then just went on a tear and ended the season 12-5. And on top of that, you asked a great question, which was, do you think Patrick Mahomes had a down year? To which I said, I don't think he did. I think just the whole team did. And then you proceeded to tell me that is 100% true. Because he went off this season. It's just his team
I
was
was just
not
saying,
there
like,
at the beginning.
I was kind of saying, like, just off the top of your head, don't even look at the stats. Like, do you feel like Patrick Mahomes maybe had not as crazy or bonkers years that he usually does? And that's kind of what I was asking. And so, but if you look at his stats, I mean, he's still, what would I say? He had 4,800 yards, 37 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Like, he still had a crazy year.
Yeah.
It was,
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, really quick, speaking of the AFC and speaking of this game, I just realized something. Wait, how many wins did you say the Raiders would have this year?
The who?
The Raiders?
I think I said they would have 8 or 9.
Well, then we already have to apologize to you.
Yeah.
I remember I was gone for that, but for some reason I was thinking that it was this game that was determining whether or not we had to do the Neal apology tour, as Varsity Connor calls it.
We'll pause it though, because I want Varsity Connor here with you.
Oh, I know. No. He definitely needs to do a little bit of groveling on the actual cast. But
yeah, it's already done. Like they're already right there.
Yep.
They could exceed my expectations too.
Well, let's not get too hasty.
Let's not do crazy. But yeah, the Chiefs number 2 right now, coming off a good win. I mean, it was an interesting win against the Broncos. They did win. They only won by 4, and the defense is like, it's kind of inconsistent right now. They play really good for a half, and then they'll make some dumb mistakes, and then let the team back in. I don't know. The defense is kind of interesting right now. But yeah, they're number 2. They won the last game going into the playoffs, so we'll see how that goes. Number 3, which, man, the Bills, if you took some of the big headlines this year, you really probably wouldn't think they would end up number 3 this year, right?
Not at all, or clinching the division. I mean, I'm just thankful that we did not have, excuse me, a Mac Jones-led team clinch the division, because I could not.
We were talking about number 1 in the AFC for the Patriots for a minute there.
Yeah, for a minute we were, and that's what I'm saying is, like, I already can't stand Patriots fans. We've had to deal with them for years under the Brady Belichick era. I can't take any more. And then we were about to have a Mac Jones led Patriots and have to deal with the insufferableness again. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't have been able to handle it. So luckily they only clinched a wild card. Hopefully they get eliminated in the first round. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, the Bills right there at number 3. They kind of, like I said, like if you just remember the big headlines this year, feels like they're like crawling their way into it. But they're 11.
They kind of were at one point.
Right. I mean, they had a little bit of a downturn there, but I mean, they're 11-6. They're coming off a 27-10 win against the Jets, and they're getting into the playoffs. They might play the Chargers right now if it ended as is, but I mean, that could be the Steelers, could be the Raiders there, so we'll see about that. But yeah, no, the Bills number 3 right there. That's interesting. Do you think they're contenders right now though? Like legit
Bills?
Yeah.
Oh, I do think they're legit contenders, but if I had to, let's just say just from the top three that we've mentioned so far, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting my money on anyone, it is not the Bills out of the Titans or the Chiefs and
Mm-hmm.
them.
Well, listen to this. The last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, they went four
Mm-hmm.
and one. Those wins were Chiefs, pretty good win there.
Mm-hmm.
Texans, 40-0. A Washington football team where they doubled their score, and then the Dolphins where they 35-0. I mean, not they won, but they won handedly. I know some
True.
of those teams are not as great, but I mean they took care of business and then
But
lost.
yeah, but for an NFL team to not score at
You
all
know
in a
what?
game,
You
I
know
mean,
what?
some good defense.
I have to. That was the first 5 games. I gotta look at this the other way around. That was the first 5 games. I got confused there because the way ESPN has it, the preseason. Anyways,
Oh
that
gosh.
was wrong. They finished the season 1, 2, 3, 4 game win streak. Panthers, Patriots, Falcons, Jets. I mean, my point.
So still 50%
Right,
are decent teams.
right.
Don't get me wrong, I didn't put the Panthers in there for a decent team.
But still, I mean, 4 game win streak. I don't know. They're kind of hard to gauge because like those teams are pretty good. I mean, they beat the Patriots, which is good because they got stomped by them last time. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would put them as contenders right now. You know, based off of half the year, a little less than half the year. I don't know. They really laid some eggs this year. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can trust
Yeah.
them to make a deep dive.
I don't trust them to make a deep dive, I'll be honest. But someone who is probably the most surprising, can we talk about the Bengals for just half a second?
Yeah, half a second
I mean,
they were the number one seed there too.
yeah, bro. I mean, the AFC North was a wild. The AFC North basically flipped on its head in terms of what we predicted preseason. We were like, oh, Bengals dead last for sure.
Yeah.
We were like Steelers, they're gonna be like, they're gonna be okay, but Big Ben is kind of like on his way out. He's not as athletic as he used to be. Like he's definitely not making it. They're not making like a deep run or whatever. We were like, it's really gonna come down to between the Ravens and the Browns, and then we saw what happened there. I mean, they did tie, I think, at the end. They're both last in the division. Like, my goodness, I could not see that coming.
Yeah, Bengals locked up the number 4 seed. Like I said, they were almost about to be higher, but yeah, I thought, best case scenario they sneak in as a wild card or something, but number 4,
Yeah.
man, that's crazy. That's awesome.
Hey, good on them. And
it's been fun to watch too. They're electric.
It has been fun to watch. And also, we were talking about this a little bit before we started recording too. Is Jamar Chase a lock-in for Offensive Rookie of the Year?
I mean, how do you not? This man as a rookie had 79 receptions, 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns. He averaged 18 yards a catch, which is number 1. That's ridiculous. For a rookie, I would say, yeah. Why is it not him? Who else would it be?
The only other person, which I just looked at this. Oh, okay, never mind. He's not actually a rookie. Dang it. Okay, so the only person I thought he was a rookie, so never mind. It's definitely Jamar Chase then.
Yeah.
The only other person I was going to say that could make a case would be Jonathan Taylor, but apparently last year was his rookie season.
Yeah, and I mean, in this ranker they have what? Mac Jones is number 2, but who would? No.
Gosh, no.
No, we can't do Varsity Connor like that. Come on. He's not it. No, yeah, Jamar Chase went off this year. And
yeah, he did.
I have to say, though, the Bengals, I can't get a good reading on them either. I feel like one week they handily win against this team that you weren't expecting them, like the Chiefs. And then the next week I know they're resting this year or this game, but then they lose to the Cleveland this week, or like, I don't know. They go back and forth on me sometimes. So some weeks they look really good. I'm like, wow, are they like actually legit? And some weeks they kind of lay an egg too. So,
well, here's the thing. You also have to remember, like, we're talking about where like the leaders of this team are a rookie and a sophomore. I mean, when you think about in terms of like the offense, when you think about it that way, give them some time, man. Like,
Well,
you give them some time. I bet they'll be more consistent. And oof, that's scary.
I agree, but that's what I'm saying about this year. I don't.
I guess that's true.
Like, kind of like the Bills, I don't really trust them to make a very deep run, but I think whatever they do in the playoffs is probably going to be fun to watch.
For sure. Yeah, no, I think the Bengals will be really fun to watch in the playoffs, but I don't know if I invest in them to make a deep run at all.
Yeah. Now, we already kind of touched on them. The Patriots are number 5 right now. Depending on what happens with the Chargers-Raiders game, they could be number 6 seed, but they are in the playoffs for sure. And they came in as a huge surprise. Like I said, they almost won the AFC East there for a minute. They almost were top of the AFC. Mac Jones and the Patriots and the defense. Let's give a lot of credit to that defense. Definitely surprised a lot of people there, but right at 10-7 now. Do you think if they had any sort of like home field there, I would say they might scare a few people, because going to Foxborough in the winter is not fun,
True.
Fun at all. But they're 5th seed right now. They're probably going to be playing in, if they stay in the 5th seed, they'll probably be playing in Cincinnati. So I don't know if I trust Mac Jones first year in the playoffs. I just don't. I don't think the Patriots are really have a lot to go that far. I mean, that defense is good. I was
just about to say the only thing that could even secure them any kind of hope is their defense. Not that their offense hasn't been decent as well, but in terms of like can hang with the rest of these teams, their defense can hang.
Is it that crazy to see the Patriots defense and Bill Belichick going into, again, let's say the Bengals, and shutting them down and just squeaking out a win?
It's not crazy, because that's how Brady won like his first 3 championships, right?
Right.
Like,
so
it was really his defense.
Yeah.
And then he started balling.
Yeah. So they could definitely upset somebody on Wild Card Weekend. So we better watch out. Now the people who we don't know are in for sure. Again, that's the Chargers, the Steelers, and the Raiders. Don't know who's going to be in. Don't know. Well, I guess the Steelers are. The Chargers and Raiders are in with the win tonight. Steelers are in as long as they don't tie, which is pretty unlikely. I guess ESPN's FPI is saying Steelers have a 99% chance to make the playoffs. It would be pretty crazy.
So if the Raiders and the Chargers tie, that makes sense. Okay, yeah. So if they tie, then the Steelers are out.
Yes.
But if the Chargers and Raiders
if one of them wins,
both in.
Yeah, if either of them win, they're in.
I got it. Yeah. Because if they both tie, they're both in.
Yes.
But okay, I'm with it now. Because I got lost in the sauce there for a second. Yeah. But yes.
And honestly, I think all 3 of these teams are teams that might give a little bit of trouble on Wild Card Weekend, kind of like we were talking about with the Patriots. But I don't really see them going very farther beyond that. And all 3 of these
I don't even see the Steelers really giving any trouble if they make it into, which they probably will, into Wild Card Weekend.
Let's see if they're number 7. They play the Chiefs there. Yeah, I don't really see them beating the Chiefs there at all.
No.
But I mean, do they even? No, I think they're only a 7 seed, so they probably only play the Chiefs. Yeah. But what about the other teams? Do you think the Chargers could beat a Buffalo Bills team there? Do you think the Raiders could?
I think if we're talking against the Bills, I think they could give them a little bit of a hassle, but I think the Bills kind of have that locked up a little bit more.
And like I said, I think they could still potentially be the 5th seed if they win there. So they might even play the Bengals too.
True.
Which is a lot of riding on that. But yeah, playoffs, AFC is going to be very interesting. I'm excited, man. This is going to be fun.
I am
weekend.
Too. NFC's a little bit of a different story. I'm still excited, but it's definitely it's a much different picture. That's for sure.
Yeah, let's talk about it, man.
Yeah, I mean we've got Go Pack Go up at number 1. Then we've got the Bucks number 2, Cowboys, your favorite team, number 3. We've got the Rams at number 4, your hometown heroes, the Cardinals at number 5, 49ers at number 6, and Eagles at number 7.
Yes, sir. And I just have to mention this again. The Cowboys at number 3, they are pretenders. I would not be surprised if the 49ers, with a good defense, just beating the Rams in overtime, I would not be surprised if the 49ers beat them. I'm also not saying that they're just going to roll over them. The Cowboys have a really good offense. I think they were just resting their 2 top cornerbacks. I hope that. I mean, if they have COVID, that sucks. But I'm not saying they're just going to roll over, But I think the Cowboys, if they get deep, into the playoffs, they're going to get exposed. So mark my words. But I have to say, the NFC North, the 49ers, Cardinals, and the Rams, all of them, that was such a weird, interesting season they all had. I don't...
You mean the West?
Sorry, yes, the West. Thank you. I don't know who... I know they're 4, 5, and 6 right there.
Yep.
I mean, I really don't know who I would pick over any one of them. I mean, the Rams are going to play the Cardinals. That's a toss-up, I feel like. And the 49ers, like I said, they have a solid defense, and their offense is a little tricky sometimes with Deebo Samuel throwing touchdowns now.
Right. Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, I think you really hit it right on the head there. It's just kind of a toss-up among them, because I think earlier in the season we would have said, oh, Cardinals for sure, just because they were looking like such a powerhouse, especially with their defense. Then, their defense is still good, but it just isn't like shutting people down like it was at the beginning of the season. And then the Rams kind of came out and were like, oh, actually, we're here to play. We're a top dog. At one point I would have said Rams hands down. But, at this point, I don't know.
Okay, so those 3 are kind of toss-up. Now, do you think the Eagles have any potential upset in the Bucks this weekend?
No. The Birds? No.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Go Birds. I'm gonna put a little $5 on the Eagles upsetting the Tampa Bay just for fun.
Oh yeah, you can ride that one.
Yeah, a little $5 on there. And then the Green Bay Packers. I mean, we'll talk about both AFC and NFC. Who do you think comes out of this conference right here? Who you picking? I want to know.
Dude, it's hard because I'm such an Aaron Rodgers fan that I really would like to see him make one. We talked about it. We talked about it when all the drama was going on before the season started. I would love to see him go win another Super Bowl with Green Bay and then just fucking leave. Like, just walk out the door. Yep, just walk out the door, because that is just the biggest fuck you.
Yeah, it really is. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, who else besides the Packers would it be? Is it just the Bucks? Are there any other contenders you feel like?
I think the Rams are in there for sure, and the Cardinals. Actually, I'll put the Cardinals in there. I think the NFC is a little tighter in terms of, actual contenders. I think the Packers, the Bucks, the Rams, and the Cardinals are my top. Just because I could see it going any which way with any of those teams. But I will say the Rams have kind of won me over this season. I hate to be a bandwagon Rams fan, but I don't know, man. Something about them. I liked the Rams when they were in St. Louis when I was like younger for like no good reason. I think it was just because I was a Cardinals fan. So I was like, yeah, sure, I like the Rams too. But I don't know, especially this season. Like they kind of won me over this season a little bit.
It's that new logo, right?
Yeah, it was definitely the new logo. But I think as I think you can attest to this as a fan who is on a losing team. I was like, all right, I got to ship somewhere else. So where am I shipping it to? I guess LA, and I was kind of riding.
You like to root for a winner sometimes, right?
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think LA was just a fun team to watch this season. So I'm kind of, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of pulling for them.
Yeah, I think. You cannot count out Tampa Bay.
No, never.
But honestly, I don't know. When I put up the Rams, when I put the Cardinals, 2 Bucks, or the Packers, I don't see it. So I really think it's either the Packers or the Bucks. And like we talked about it before, I'm also an Aaron Rodgers fan. I'm kind of riding with him this year. So I think the Packers are I'm hoping and thinking the Packers are gonna make it out. I do think they have one of the most complete teams also in the NFC. Them and maybe the Bucks there. I really like their team. Their defense is nice as well. So that's what I'm going for, the NFC now. I know we still have. I don't think anybody would pick the people who are not decided. But who are you picking out of the AFC? Who do you think is coming out of there?
Oh, like yeah, okay. I don't know. I think it's pretty much just a race among the top three, and even there, it's probably either the Titans or the Chiefs at this point.
I really kind of want to put all my eggs in the Titans basket if Henry is 100%. If he's 100%, that's like the perfect person at the right time to come back.
It's true, and he doesn't even. I mean, shoot. Obviously, they don't even need Henry. I mean, I should say they don't need Henry. They would take Henry back in a heartbeat, at full strength.
Yeah, they've been playing pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously they are number one in the conference, so they were very happy with that. But I don't know. I just have this feeling the Chiefs are just going to do what the Chiefs have done for the past few years, and they're going to come out.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, what did I say a couple weeks ago? Never a bad time to bet on the Chiefs, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, no, but I kind of want to ride with the Titans, man. Like I said, especially with Henry coming back, I think it'd be fun to see the Titans come out of there. That'd be awesome.
I agree.
All right. Well, real quick, should we talk MVP right before we switch over to some basketball?
Sure.
So, I think this is a big year for the MVP because it has some potential. Like, it doesn't have to be a quarterback this year. It really does not. And so, but will the voters agree? Like, are they actually going to not give it to a non-QB this year? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a big race between Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, personally. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, who do you have on your list as a non-QB?
I mean, we got to talk Jonathan Taylor here, right?
True.
1,700
yards. I mentioned it before, thinking he was a rookie, but he's not.
Yep, 18 touchdowns.
Yeah,
that is insane. He was literally like, all right, Carson Wentz had a decent year this year, but I feel like he was carrying them, especially the second half there.
Oh, he was 100% carrying them. I mean, you saw the stat, right? That was like until last week. Anytime he rushed for more than 100 yards, they were like 9-0. But anytime he didn't, they were 0-6.
Yeah, exactly.
But then that didn't ring true last week. I believe he did rush for more than 100 yards, but they still lost. And then they lost today to the Jaguars.
Yeah, they're out of the playoffs because they lost to the Jaguars today, which is we didn't mention that.
Big ol' yikes.
That is rough, man. Go Trevor Lawrence, man. Get some momentum under there.
Honestly.
No, it's crazy though. 1,700 yards and 18. Like they would not be in the positions they were without him. But yeah. I don't think the voters are ready to give it to a non-QB. So I do agree.
They're a product of a different generation.
Yeah, fair enough. But so who are you thinking the MVP is going to this year?
I think it's got to be Aaron Rodgers, personally.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean,
his record is 68% completed rate, 3,900 yards, 35 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. 4. That's pretty insane. Like the other top guys this year, let's put it in perspective. Tom Brady had 49. First of all, let's clap it up for Tom Brady. Led the league in passing and touchdowns this year as a 41-year-old, right?
Yeah, really old man. Yes.
Yes, that's insane. So yeah, he had 4,900 yards and 40 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Let's see the next guy in these like top passing yards at least with under 10 interceptions, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins at 7. The rest of them, Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, Derek Carr, Matthew Stafford, Patrick Mahomes, all over 10 interceptions.
Dang,
like that's pretty crazy to get under 10 interceptions, to get under 5 interceptions. Like,
yeah, seriously. I mean,
that's wild.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, like, now, I don't know. Now you put in the stats perspective. I don't know, because I mean, if you do talk about Brady leading the league in that regard, maybe you give it to him. I don't know. I just feel like Aaron Rodgers deserves it. Here's why. I mean, the reason why I feel like Aaron Rodgers deserves it is maybe he didn't put up quite the numbers Brady did. Pretty dang close though, but not quite the numbers Brady did. But still was able to secure the number 1 spot going to the playoffs. and did it with the squad he has, which he doesn't have a bad squad, obviously. I mean, he's got Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon behind the ball. He's got Devontae Adams, one of the best, if not the best receiver in the league. And then you've got some other good pieces on there as well. But
that Tampa Bay offense, though.
That's the thing, though, is then you have Tampa Bay, who is just so stacked, because guess what? Tom Brady decided he was going to come to Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay said, let's throw all of our money at anyone we can to try and stack around him. And that's exactly what they did. Where Aaron Rodgers has led that team, who clearly we know the Green Bay front office is not always the best about doing that kind of stuff and trying to help out Aaron Rodgers or maybe making decisions in his best interest. And yet he still did all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I will say in favor of Rodgers, he has the best passer rating of like any of these top guys.
Well, there you go. Just give it to him already.
He has a passer rating of 111, which Tom Brady has 102. So no, I think because he has the best record in the league and those stats are insane. I think touchdown to interception, like the percentage there, like the ratio, is just such an interesting stat to me, especially when you're throwing 37, like such a high, like your top tier, almost top touchdowns there, and then you're almost the bottom of the league for interceptions. Like, that's insane to me.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Also, breaking news, just because I happened to open my phone, Bob Saget died.
What?
Yeah.
Where's that from? Like, is it a reputable source?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. It was TMZ on Twitter, so I was like, let me go check this. But now it's like Fox Orlando, CNN, People Magazine, New York Times.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah. What does it say from what?
It just says found dead in his hotel room.
That's wild, because he's not terribly old.
65. Yeah, he is not old.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it just says they responded to a call about an unresponsive man in a hotel room. Pronounced him dead on the scene. It says that they found no signs of foul play or drug use. So,
jeez,
must have just been some kind of fluke. I mean, it could have been an aneurysm, could have been a heart attack, could have been seizure, could have been a number of things.
Wow. Well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So pour one out for Bob.
Yeah, pour one out for Bobby.
Sad. I will say it was really, really funny. This is kind of like a weird coming of age moment for me, since we're on the subject. And I remember, like, as a kid, I loved the show Full House. So, I'm seeing, good old Danny Tanner and the gang, right? Mm-hmm. And then it was like, fast forward a few years later, and somehow a like clip or a special or something of his stand-up came across my lap, and I was like, oh yeah, I know Bob Saget, the good guy from Full House. Let me watch his stand-up. Oh boy, is he a vulgar one.
Yeah.
Oh,
he is, boy. He mentions that in his stand-up. He is nothing like his on-screen persona.
Yeah, which, I mean, yeah, good on him, because that's I think a lot of comedians who run through stuff like that encounter, like one of our favorites, Donald Glover, with his only stand-up special, and he's talking about people bringing their kids to his stand-up, thinking like, oh, he's just gonna go do like Troy and Abed from Community.
And then it's just about dicks.
Yeah. Nope. But yeah, Bob Saget was one of the most vulgar comedians I've ever watched, and I was like, wow, this was not what I expected.
Wowee. I have to say, I think the stats just updated from today's games. Because now Tom Brady has 5,300 yards and 43 touchdowns after today's game.
Jeez. Okay, give it a Tom.
Just give it a Tom.
Give it a Tom. All
right. But yeah, no, I think that's an interesting debate about the non-QB, And that, I mean, you could throw in like Aaron Donald into that all the time, or TJ Watt this year for tying the sack record with Michael Strahan.
Single season sack record.
Yeah, like you could throw those guys in there too.
And my favorite was someone on Twitter like responded to that, where who was it actually? I think it was Booger. I think it was Booger actually responded to it. Yeah. Saying that, like, get out of here. Well, they did it in 17 games, crew, because he missed 3 games this season.
Yeah. That is interesting. That's true. No, 22 is insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy. TJ Watt. But yeah, well, that'll do it for our NFL segment. Let's move on to some NBA, man. There is some stuff going down in the NBA scene right now. And I'm here for it. First of all, Klay Thompson is back. Let's clap it up.
Sort of.
Let's clap it up.
Yeah, he's sort of back. I mean,
he's back.
He's back. He's definitely limited in his minutes, but man, 2.5 years was such a long time without Klay. It's good to see him back on the court.
It's great to see him back, and I got annoyed with how many posts I saw today with, what the world was like when Klay last played his game.
Oh my gosh, I know.
I'm like, okay, that's enough. But no, it's awesome.
Well, I mean, it also was kind of cool because it does show you how much things change in sports.
I liked it the first time. And then the 20th time I was over it.
Yes, yes, I agree. And especially when people are showing the same things over and over again. It's like, yes, we know John Wall was on the Wizards. Stop.
Yeah, exactly. But no, Klay back, like you said, 2.5 years, incredible. His journey back was insane. And it's honestly crazy that a team that is 30-9, or 29-9, excuse me, and they, by all accounts, are probably top 1 or 2 teams this year, is getting a piece like that back and getting him with plenty of time to get him, in some sort of groove for this year. It's hard coming back from those injuries. A lot of people say it takes more than just a year of actually like being back. But if he can be any sort of 60 to 80% of what he was, that's so much for that team.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think they learned a lot from rushing KD's recovery with the Achilles tear or whatever back then. And they did not want to rush this at all.
I can still see that pop in the final. Oh,
I know, dude. I know.
Gross.
That's what I mean. They were not going to rush this. That's why it's been 2.5 years. And especially when you've got COVID seasons in there too, they're like, dude, just don't even come back. Like, just stay and get healthy. You'll come back when you're ready to come back. And yeah, he's ready. I mean, I think he'll tell you he's been ready, but
yeah,
I think they really wanted to make sure he was fully healed.
Yeah, for sure. So awesome to see him back. Some other players coming back too. Kyrie. Did you know he played basketball?
I did, and he is back. Sort of.
Back.
Sort of.
He's back for away games.
He's sort of back.
Their bench is so depleted. They are going back on what they said earlier, where they wanted him all or nothing, which is kind of understandable how crazy COVID has been for some of these teams. But yeah, apparently he's back. He's going to play away games, so he doesn't have to be vaccinated inside the arena there. I mean, he played a game already. I think like 22 points the other night. I mean, nice. Finally, they don't have to rely so much on KD, maybe. But it sucks for my fantasy team because, man, Patty Mills was going off this year, and I had him on my bench.
We're not talking about your fantasy
and
basketball.
Now, man. Oh. But no, I don't know. Do you think this has any bearing whatsoever on maybe he does get vaccinated? Maybe he gets a taste of basketball again, and he's like, I gotta get. So you think this is strictly just away games?
Yes.
But do you think?
I do not. I do not think Kyrie of all people will go, oh boy, I played an NBA game again, so now I'm gonna go back on everything I said and get vaccinated.
Yeah, at this point, it's a pride thing, right?
Yeah, completely. Yeah. And I mean, especially where he considers himself a voice of the people, or he considers himself to use his platform to do all these things, which he does. Like, he does do a lot of good, but for him to then go back on what he said the whole time, I don't think that's happening.
I feel like in his mind, he feels like, to his followers and community and everything, I feel like he feels like the village shaman. Like, everybody follow me. I know what I'm saying. Oh God, you're right. Like, I don't know. He just gets that off.
Yeah, he definitely. Well, yeah, it doesn't help that he's saging courts too.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that
exactly.
definitely gives off some real shaman vibes there.
But I mean, this is so early, and we'll just have to see. But what kind of like leash is he gonna have? Like, are they gonna play him for a couple months? Everybody gets healthy, or even a month. Everybody gets healthy, and they're gonna say, "Okay, bye bye again," or are they gonna shut him off like right before playoffs? Because I think it is important. You're not gonna want somebody in the playoffs that only plays away games. Like that's gonna ruin your chemistry.
Yeah,
That's
that
gonna be
does
weird.
kind of hurt, especially if you have home advantage. So you're playing more home
Yeah.
games than you are away games.
So like
So I
where
don't know.
I don't know when this leash ends, when the trial ends. Are they just doing it for the injuries, literally for the injuries, or I don't know? But he's back, and honestly, it is fun to watch him play basketball. So in a sense, I am glad for
He
him to
is
be
really
back.
fun to watch.
But yeah, we'll see how long this lasts. Honestly, I'm not super what's the word?
Optimistic.
Yes, thank you. That is actually exactly the word I wanted.
You're welcome. Can we talk about the Bulls being number one in the East though, really quick,
Let's
and
talk,
actually
dude.
looking like a solid number one?
Dude, they're on a 9-game win streak, 26-10. They're 2 games ahead of the Nets right now. Man, they are. Yeah, I think they're legit. I don't know about number one legit, but I would not be surprised if they finish top three. Honestly, how they've been playing. I think every time we
I can
talk
see
about
that.
this, my seeding goes up one bit because at first I was like top six, and then early in the season I was like they're doing good, but top four, and then like now I'm like maybe top three. I think it just keeps going up.
That's funny. I actually didn't even notice that, but I think you're
Yeah,
100% right.
yeah.
And then you said, who was it that made MVP comments?
Oh, I was saying, they're the Bulls center, Nikola Vucevic.
Vucevic, that's right.
He was saying, I don't know. Somebody mentioned how crazy DeMar DeRozan's been lately, and they're like, actually, he's been like MVP worthy lately. And so I wanted to ask Connor, yeah, do you think DeMar DeRozan? Do you think he has a good stake for the MVP conversation, especially
Well,
now that the Bulls are the number one seed?
well, if they maintain that and he maintains these stats, I think he could. I don't know if he's quite there at MVP status, but it's pretty dang close. Pretty close.
You have the
Definitely in
stats up,
terms of
right?
score. Definitely in terms of scoring. I do. He is averaging right now 26.5 points,
Mm-hmm.
4.6 assists, and 5 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, I would say he is up there in terms of. And then he's shooting on 48, 35, and 85.
That's not bad at all.
So pretty good
35
percentage as
from
well.
three from DeMar DeRozan is, I think, better than what you can expect.
Yeah, true, very true.
So,
And I mean, and almost 50% from the field, like almost half the shots he makes are going in right now.
yeah.
That's pretty insane.
I will say NBA.com, their MVP, Kia MVP ladder, they have him at number 6 right now.
Interesting.
Interesting. I mean, Steph Curry's ahead of him, then Joel Embiid, then Jokic, then Durant, then Antetokounmpo.
I think that's a little bit of last year recency bias in all of that, but that's fine. Not that those guys aren't playing well as also, but I do think that's a little bit of like they're using last year's list to kind of shade this one. Also, question: what is? I'll let you in on a little secret here. Basketball Reference only has one nickname for DeMar DeRozan.
Oh.
Do you think you know what that is?
Oh man, DeMar DeRozan.
And it is not DeRod Doggin. I will let you know that.
That's a starter's quote, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
That was the first episode ever I listened to, and they hit me with DeRod Doggin. I was dying.
DeRod Doggin. Because they're saying he was raw dogging it.
Yep.
Man, I can't think of. No, I don't know. I don't know of his nickname.
Debo.
Debo.
Yep, that is the one nickname on Basketball Reference.
I was gonna say like D-Rod or something.
Nope, Debo. So anyway, fun fact there for you.
Interesting.
Then move over to, because the other major MVP candidate conversation is LeBron, because he is putting up some insane numbers in his 19th season at the age of 37. Let's just keep all of that in mind. He's putting up some insane numbers. It's just that the Lakers are losing.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. That is the one thing holding him back right now. Because on this list, too, he's number 7 for NBA.com. So right behind DeRozan. And yeah, you're right. His numbers, especially in the last like week or ish, have been insane. But I feel like most of them have been coming in losses. So it kind of hurts that. Like the Lakers, what are they right now? They are 6th, so they've climbed back up a little bit. They're on a 4-game win streak. We have to give them credit where credit is due. On a 4-game win streak, but still.
But he is averaging 28.7 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 6.6 assists. I mean,
Jesus Christ! In his 19th season, by the way.
In his 19th season, at the age of 37. Just want to point that out.
That's incredible. Honestly.
So now, here's what we really came to Basketball Reference for, though. Is there are 2 nicknames I have never heard of
for LeBron.
I was one definitely never heard of. The other one I'm like, okay sure, but I'll let you guess at least. I'll let you guess through what you think what's on here,
LeBron,
as we do usually. LeBron is not one of them because LeBron is his first name.
Right. No, I'm just thinking out loud. LeBron.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I'm gonna miss like some obvious ones because I'm put on the spot.
Maybe he doesn't really have any like obvious ones. Like for example, like Steph Curry. Stephen is his full name. Steph is technically a nickname, and that's listed on here. Braun is actually not on here.
Braun's not on there. Interesting.
Braun is not on here, which I thought was interesting.
A Zero Dark 30, is that on there?
Nope.
Okay, so that's not really his nickname. That's what he does, I guess. Right.
Okay.
I feel like is it some stupid like Le GM or something on there?
No. There's not Le GM. No. No. I'll let you in on 2 that you're gonna be like, why am I not thinking of this? King James.
Of course, the number one.
LBJ.
Oh, LBJ. Is it really? I mean, I know it's a nickname, but it's just his.
Yeah, no one really calls him LBJ, but like it's still on there.
Okay, I got you.
This one I feel like only comes from him actually going into the NBA, but Chosen One is on here.
I feel like I knew it, and it's like yes, but like
Yeah, but that didn't stick. That was literally from that Sports Illustrated article, and that's it.
Yeah.
L Train, which is one I have not really heard of, but I feel like maybe I've heard before.
That's kind of I see it, but it's kind of lame,
Yeah, and then I kind of threw you a little bit of a lie, but I said Braun is not on here because it's not, but Braun.
What?
Yes, which I think is
so stupid.
I think is no. I don't think I've ever heard anyone call him that. But the last 2 is where I was really shocked, and I'll do it in order of. I'll leave the one that I was most shocked about, which I was like, "There's absolutely no way this is a real thing." Last, so the first one is the Akron Hammer.
The Akron Hammer, I've heard that.
The Akron Hammer, yeah. So I forget you're supposed to pronounce it Akron because it's Ohio, not Akron. The Akron Hammer. So I have actually never heard that one, so I was surprised by that one. But then the last one, the Little Emperor. What?
That's a weird one.
What?
That's a weird one. That's his Chinese name.
I think we should only refer to him as the Little Emperor from now on.
He's just a little emperor.
He's 6'9", 250-pound Little Emperor.
He's a little emperor.
He's just a little emperor. Ooh, you're an angry emperor. Gosh. Anyway, back to MVP conversation, sort of.
Back to MVP.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Lakers. I mean, they're sitting at 6, so they're not like terrible, but I mean, yeah, they have been losing a lot, even though Braun has been putting up crazy
numbers. If he can
numbers.
Somehow keep this up, like for the rest of the season or a lot of it, and then
he's got to lose steam, right? He's got to lose steam.
You would think so, right? But
you would think so.
But if he somehow does that, I mean, okay, let's say he does. Let's say he like puts up these numbers. He's averaging a crazy amount, almost 30, like 8 and 8, right?
Yeah.
And they climb up to like the 3rd seed or something.
Uh-huh.
Do you just give it to him at that point?
I think you have to. I think you have to. If he maintains this, 100% you have to.
I think the big thing is what the Lakers are going to do. Do you trust the Lakers to climb up to number 3? I don't know.
Not at all. Yeah. But what was I going to say? Oh, the other conversation is, again, year 19, age 37. Just want to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I have a sneaking suspicion that he is going to play one game with his son on the court and then retire.
I mean,
because I just feel like he's got to be so tired by the end of this. And then and like I think there was an interview recently with his parents, with Bronny Jr.'s parents, so LeBron and Savannah, and they said, "What do you want for Bronny?" And Savannah gave a great answer, which was just want happiness for him, and want the best. And then LeBron said, obviously ditto, but then was I want to play with him in the league. I want to play with I want to play in the same in the NBA with my son. That's what I want for him.
I don't know if you knew this. I thought he was a little bit younger, but he's 17 now, Bronny James.
Oh yeah, no, it's coming up.
I mean,
you have to remember this. They've been talking about this since Bron was 32, basically.
Right. He was only 19. Bron was 19 when he had him.
True, that's true.
So, yeah, I mean, it's realistically possible. 2.5 more years? 2 years?
Yeah,
more.
Yeah, 2 years, really.
At the minimum.
Yeah. It's doable.
I mean, that's not out of possibility.
It's doable.
He could. So. I mean, if he's still playing at that point, he could just what if he just becomes the old Mayan at pickups and just runs point and just that's all he does.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Is I really do think he's gonna play until he is able to play on the same court in an actual NBA game with his son, and then immediately retire right after. He's okay, I finally did the last thing I ever wanted to accomplish in my career.
Yeah, exactly. Well, listen to this little tidbit. So this was in October, but in October when this article came out, he had just played the Grizzlies, which one of their players is Zaire Williams, right? Uh-huh. He was a former teammate of Bronny. Back in former high school teammate of Bronny. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's already playing with Bronny's teammates.
Jeez, that is wild.
You're 19, everybody. Just saying.
You're 19, age 37. Just want to point that out.
Okay, but who is your MVP right now? I mean,
as much as I shouldn't say I hate to say it. I've cooled off on my LeBron hate in my later years. LeBron, I think, is my front runner right now. Honestly,
really?
Mm-hmm. I don't really see anyone else doing the same. I mean, I could see Steph. Steph is having a solid season.
Mm-hmm.
And Golden State is number 2 right now, but I don't know. I just don't really see anyone else moving the needle for me at this point.
I have 2 arguments here.
Please. Kevin Durant too. I could put Kevin Durant.
I was gonna say Kevin Durant's my number 1 right now. He's just doing it all for Nets, and they are still winning. They're number 2, right? Yeah, the number 2, 25-13. He's putting up 37 and almost 5.7 assists. That's pretty close. And he's doing it all for the Nets right now. So I think he's my number 1. Now I think it's not even a dark horse because again, even in this list, he's ranked number 3. Is Jokic. Now here's my argument for Jokic. Okay, who won it last year? Jokic did, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's arguably having a stat-wise almost a better year. I would say it's almost on par. It's 26 a game last year, 26 a game this year. He's averaging 14 rebounds this year, which he was only doing 10 last year. And he averaged 8 assists last year. He's doing 7 this year. But that's without Michael Porter Jr., no Jamal Murray. Yep. His team has been in shambles for lately. They just traded Bull.
What are you thinking?
So I think he has less this year, and he's putting up almost a better stat line, and he got it last year. I'm saying so if they can continue their, I mean they're only 7th right now, but if they can rise up in the rankings a little bit, I think he should definitely deserve some of that for sure. Just because of the literally the recency bias of him winning it last year with similar stats there. So,
I mean that's fair, but again, it does come down to I feel like it does come down to the team success, and he's. I mean, they're right below the Lakers, but yeah, I don't know. I think
and that's a fair
he's putting up those numbers because he has to, like you mentioned, with the other players being out. So
yeah, we'll see. No, I think Kevin Durant is clear cut right now. But then again, you look at freaking Antetokounmpo and he's just doing it again. He's just doing what he does. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right. Well, was there anybody, any other team you wanted to shout out, mention real quick before we kind of move on?
At this point, not really. I mean, the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are.
Let's actually shout out the Grizzlies. Yes.
Let's shout out the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are number 4 right now, and they are actually kind of going off. They're on an 8-game win streak. Ja is doing it, but he's not doing it by himself. I mean, they're just playing. They're playing some good ball right now.
He's also been like in and out of the lineup. Like he was out last night, and then Dylan Brooks went down. He's gonna be out for a few weeks, and they still won last night. No, they've been fun to watch, and they've been a tough, gritty team. Mm-hmm. And then when Ja's in there right now, let's put it this way: Ja's on NBA.com. I think he's like ranked like 7th or 8th in MVP ranking. And I think deservingly so, because he's balling right now, and when he's in, I think he's having a few too many injuries so far, but as far as MVP race, but no, they're doing 27-14, 4th in the West right now, 8-game win streak. I mean, let's go Grizz, baby.
Oh, I think we have to shout out the Cavaliers as well. They are number 6 in the East, and still number 6, and I mean, like, they actually look decent, dare I say? Question mark.
I mean, even when Rubio went down, he was a big part of the team for him. And then they traded for Rondo. Like, they're in it. Like, they're trying to make it to playoffs and win it, because why would you make a trade for Rondo otherwise, right? Yeah. So, they're right there. Right below the 76ers.
And the Wizards just keep on slipping.
Hey, I just want to be better than the Celtics this year. That's all I care about.
Well, you're like half a game ahead right now, so that's good.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm just kidding. But I want to say I have to shout out a person, which is Danny Green. He had a great performance the other night. I think he played about 24 minutes, and he had 0 points, 0 assists, 0 rebounds, I think 0 turnovers. He had the famous 0-0-0-0-0-0 game.
Yeah, shouts out to him. Everyone calling it the cardio game.
The cardio game. You just running. That's impressive to do in a NBA game.
Is it impressive though?
I feel like it is. How do you not? You get minutes 20. I think it was around 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, it was 24.
How do you not get in an effort to grab a rebound? How do you not turn the ball over? How do you not shoot? Like,
because he didn't touch the ball. That's the secret.
I guess. Man,
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
That was rough. That was rough. Let's hope that. All right, that's going to do it for us this week, guys. As always, thank you so much for listening. And please go follow our 2 Tight Ends socials. They're at 2 Tight Ends on everything. If you want to go follow our personal socials, we'll have our links in the description. Make sure, you share with your family or friends if you feel like they might like the podcast. And check out the Halftime app. Like I said, we will be doing live shows on there more often, and it honestly is just a pretty cool app where you get sports fans just doing discussions and interacting with each other. It's pretty cool. So yeah, go check that out. Not a sponsor, not yet at least, right? But Connor, what did we learn this week?
Well, Neal, if there's anything we've learned this week, if you're going to make an entrance, make it a Klay Thompson entrance where everyone missed you. Everyone just wants the best for you. Everyone just wants you back. But if you're going to make an exit, make an Antonio Brown exit and make it memorable.
Amen, brother. Amen. All right. Till next week.
See ya.